Okay, ladies and gents, are we live? It is the People's Champion, and I'm here to do a repeater tutorial. Now, I know I promised the hammer, but honestly, I still need a lot more time to test and learn stuff with that because people have been giving me advice on it. Like I said, I'm not good with the hammer, but people want me to do the tutorial video, obviously because they like my style of presentation and teaching. But I too am on a learning journey, so I've received some advice from people that main the hammers, and I'm gonna test out all that stuff and get that done. But since somebody asked about repeaters, which I am an expert in, I said, okay, I'm gonna do the repeaters first. Sorry, nose still killing me. Anyway, let's talk about the repeaters. So, how the repeaters work in general is that they're different from any other weapon. To start with, you can choose whatever barrel you want to change the element of the weapon. You're going up against a fire behemoth, you'd want to have a frost barrel. Or you can even use the legendary frost barrel to have the legendary ability. It's interchangeable. You going up against a terra behemoth, put on your electric barrel, you know. It is expensive to make and power surge every single barrel, but it's part and parcel of having a real weapon that can just change on the fly. That's what's so cool about it. All right. And the other cool thing is that you can change the type of chamber. All right. I honestly prefer marksman chamber because the marksman chamber is so fucking effective for everything. It not only increases your damage, but the damage of your team. But the full bore chamber is also not too bad. Sometimes I like to try that shit. You can buff your team with the captain's grip, or, you know, focus on interrupts and extra damage with the saboteur's grip. Honestly, I prefer the attack speed buff because I'm a heavy damage dealer. And, you know, you can change your mods as well. And the prism adds another ability onto it. So you can have something like the Eclipse Prism, which is from the Riftstalker, gain damage, you know, as you deal damage. You can have the Skarn's ability. So you could have like a fire barrel with a Skarn's ability. This is better than any other fucking weapon. Because any other fucking weapon, you're stuck using the Skarn itself. So that's why the repeaters are so fucking cool. Alright, now the trade-off is that they deal less damage, baseline, than other weapons. But there are still ways to turn them into super awesome, destructive thingamabobs. So, in order to turn them into super destructive thingamabobs, first we gotta understand how they work. So let's go to the training grounds, and I'm going to train you guys in how to use the repeaters. All right. Okay, so let's talk repeaters. Okay, first we go here. This is my favorite little training animal. Okay, your move list. You got your basic shots. R to reload, like with any FPS. Empowered reload. Okay, what's the difference between a reload and an empowered reload? An empowered reload is done if you are up close to the behemoth. It's different. Okay, so if you reload nowhere near the behemoth, your animation's like that. But if you reload next to the behemoth, you will suck in Aether from the behemoth itself. That's the difference. That's how you can tell you've got an empowered reload. There'll also be a little bar that will fill up when you have that. Your chamber ability, okay, is your right click or your heavy attack. All right, this is on a cooldown, so you can't use it all the time. Same with your grip ability. This is by pressing your special ability button. Okay, and there are no realistic combos. This is just an explanation of your grip and chamber, which will change based on whatever you have equipped. All right, so let's talk about this. First of all, this is what repeater firing looks like. Okay, it fires like that. Now, when you do a reload at 0, if you do a light attack, you'll reload instead. If you're nowhere near the behemoth, notice your reload animation is up in the air. And there is no bar beneath the reload. Now, let's see an empowered reload, okay? If I go up close and press R, or press my reload key, Do you see the bar that just appeared? That's an empowered reload. You'll notice that the Aether is being sucked out of the behemoth. Okay? Let me show you that. Like that. Empowered reload. When it's empowered, also your abilities will glow, and they have different effects. This is an empowered marksman shot. Okay? It buffs your damage by 80%, buffs the damage to the team. It gets pretty fucking crazy. Okay? Yeah, something like that. Okay, this is your captain's ability. It boosts your attack speed. You'll just throw down the grip like that. Okay, your grip ability is usually something that you throw down. Now, how is the shot different if it's not empowered? Look at that. It becomes a smaller mark. It's quicker, but smaller, and it does less damage overall. Okay, it's just not as cool when that happens. And your shots are also weaker. Okay, let's look at a non-empowered shot. Okay, 200 damage. Okay, roughly 200 something. It's going up because of Berserker. What happens if I do an empowered shot? Let's empower. 300. So that's almost 100 more base damage when you empower a shot. So that's why you should always be focusing on empowering. All right. Now that is basically it for the repeaters in terms of moveset. How do they function in an actual hunt? Well, ladies and gents, let me show you, as always, combat demonstration is the absolute best way to show you that this shit is awesome. So let's head straight to the Paradox Breaks, and we will show you the Re of Peters in action. Okay, they're very delicious. They are absolutely delicious repeaters. I like them because they taste like mangoes. Okay, I swear I'm not tripping. Okay, but let's go see the repeaters in action, shall we? Now, I'm gonna show you how to play with them in combat, because it's a few things that you can't get just from the training grounds. Number one, repeaters do not have a sprint. You can only dodge roll and move normally, which is why the build has to be done in a particular way. Now, why is it taking so long to take me to Paradox Breaks when I just want a private hunt? God fucking damn it, Dauntless. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pause the recording and resume when we get in there. Okay, recording resumed because, yeah, I didn't want you guys to see that 2-minute wait time. Dauntless really needs to solve that. I mean, I'm going in a private hunt. It should be instantaneous. It's my own instance. Nobody cares. Anyway, let's go in right now and see the repeaters in actual action. Okay? Now, a few principles, like I said, I'm going to show you. Okay? Ah, look at that awesome entry. Whew. Sexy man swimming in the river. Okay. To start with, repeaters can jump and shoot, but there's literally no point to doing so. Okay? And jumping is not that efficient. Now, you cannot sprint. Even if you're holding the sprint key with repeaters, he will just move at its normal running speed. Okay? I'm tapping the sprint key like hell, but nothing is changing. Your dodge is a roll. Okay? You can dodge roll with repeaters. Alright, this is important. Why? Because, well, you're about to see. Dodging with the repeaters is different to doing it with anything else. Okay? Usually when I get in combat, I'll drop my captain's grip first. And I'll start shooting, and I'll go for an empowered reload quickly. I'll use my lantern abilities and just start going ham. Now, sometimes you may miss your attacks. That's okay. But try and get the empowered reload when you can. Shoot. Buff your shit, and, you know, you've just got to be very aware with repeaters about how into the enemy's attacks you're getting, because they are going to be able to shoot you in particular ways. Okay, and you don't really have an option for... Now, sometimes you're going to miss your empowered reload. That's okay. Just make sure that when you do hit it, you hit it properly. And sometimes it's just not viable to go for that empowered reload. But where you can, just do it. It's a huge, tremendous help. Again, how you use your empowered reload and your abilities depends on you. I like to close in when I'm getting close to full reloading, and then I'll do my empowered reload. So I always measure my bullets, and sometimes I will hold off on that last attack click. Yeah, see, I'll do that, and I'll hold off on that last click just to get that empowered reload so I can keep marking the behemoth and dishing out extra damage. Now you don't have to be absolutely shit-faced close. Alright, so don't make that mistake. You can be if you want to be, but again, you do not have to. Okay, just remember that, please. You do not have to be shit-faced close. Okay, let's go see it in some more action. Just so you guys can get a better picture of how to do shit like that. Okay, I try to use my abilities on cooldown. Sometimes you will be in combat and forget. That's okay. Just try and use it on cooldown where you can. Okay, now we got ourselves a little angry Rage Tail Gnasher here. As always, start with the Captain's Grip. Empower first. Dodge where you can. Put a mark where you can. Now, invulnerability is a fucking lifesaver on your repeaters. It is genuinely super fucking helpful. And also, because the repeaters are like a surgical implement, basically. Put on my ice shield, but basically, with the repeaters, you want to shoot whichever part you are keen on breaking. Like I said, they're very, very strong at what they do, so don't hesitate. The repeaters, if used well, can dish out immense amounts of damage, and they're very good for observing a behemoth. As you can see, it's literally a point and shoot weapon, but the nuance of using the repeater comes from how you point, shoot, and break parts. How are you aiming for certain things, and how are you bringing that out? Right, it's very important to do that and to just make sure that you are doing it. So I have to collect these rocks from a stupid ass quest, so forgive me for doing that in the tutorial. I just don't like to waste any time. Okay, let's do one more behemoth so you can see it in action. Oh, it's another Charrock. Okay. As always, I start out with my Captain's Grip. Standard. Okay, I'll close in. Empower with reload. I'll usually pop my Lantern Hold and Lantern Tap if I have it. The reason is because it is simple. Now, sometimes if I mess up my Empowered Reload, I don't get it or something like that. I always try and observe the behemoth attacks, but if you take a hit, it's okay. You know, sometimes even to your best abilities, if you're trying to observe it, right, you might still miss and take a hit because of the suddenness, and it's hard to measure sometimes. Also, you let's say you're using the Tactician's Magazine, you want to get up close and personal at the proper zero reload. You know, you're gonna mess up a couple of times. You're gonna take hits from the Elder Shield explosions, things like that. You know, it'll happen. So don't beat yourself up about it. It's just a learning experience. All right. The repeaters are still a fucking phantasmagorical weapon. They're my favorite. And honestly, they do so much work. Like, it's hard to go back to normal weapons after repeaters because, like I said, they're just viable in so many situations. And just help you. Like, as you can see, it's already dead. That is basically how the repeaters work. They're just strong, And if you know what you're doing with them, you can always come out on top. All right, they give you a lot of flexibility, a lot of viability in what you want to do and how you want to play. So, you know, don't be afraid to get in close. I know they're ranged weapons, but don't be standing in the back because, oh, that's right, I should cover that. Fuck, sorry, one more thing, I almost forgot. Staying close to the behemoth is not just a important thing because if you look at that, when your crosshair is white, you're doing less damage. When your crosshair is red, you do additional damage. See that? So there's a fall off for this. If you go into the white zone, you do like super less damage. I'm doing like 152, and it goes as further you go, the lesser it gets. So you don't want to be in a situation where you're too far from the behemoth. Okay, you want to be up close, personal, getting your empowered reloads and hitting it hard. Okay, so try that. Alright, thank you so much for watching my repeater guide. I'm going to run away now because I want to end the video properly. So if you guys enjoyed that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, if you feel like supporting your boy, you want to see my content keep growing, you want to, you know, pay the medical fees for that Rezakiri owning me. Alright, drop a tip. If you got some spare change, it keeps me alive. It's my income for now, so thank you very much if you decide to do that. Sarangeyo, the people's champ. We'll see you all on the next one. Enjoy!